This is how you meal prep the Tic Tac feta pasta.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the first episode of How to Meal Prep. I'm super excited about this and just thank you so much for watching. Okay, don't let this long list of ingredients scare you away. This is one of the easiest meals we've ever meal prepped, and this even makes a super easy weeknight meal for the family. A full list of ingredients will be listed in the description below. All right, let's get started. We're going to start off by cutting 4 cloves of garlic. This is the only prep work that you're going to have to do for this whole recipe. And don't worry if yours don't look as pretty as mine. A rough chop on the garlic will be just fine. And if you haven't seen the viral Tic Tac pasta yet, this is pretty much how it's done. You pour grape tomatoes, your cut garlic, you put your feta, and this is where we start to deviate from the original recipe a little bit. We cut back on the amount of feta that was used. We used 5 ounces. If you haven't had feta before, it's salty, it's a little bit tangy, and we just found having that much feta in a dish made it not so well balanced. We've also added a little bit of honey to this dish because honey is just a great way to balance out the acidity that you get from the feta as well as the tomatoes. Now, if you're counting calories, I'd be a little bit more exact with the honey and olive oil, but if you're just throwing this together quickly, eyeballing it's just fine. Next up, we have our protein. We used 1 1/3 pound of chicken thighs, which was about 4 chicken thighs if you're not being exact. And for the spices, we used chicken powder, dried basil, red pepper flakes, and baking powder. Now, baking powder might seem a bit strange, but it doesn't add any flavor, and it's just a great way to promote more browning when you're roasting protein in the oven. And the more browning you get usually means more flavor. Now, I've never seen this done before, but we decided to take a cooling rack and place it directly above the pan. That way, when the chicken thighs roast, the fat starts to render out of them and they drip down all over the tomato and the feta, and it just adds another layer of flavor to it. All right, you're going to want to pop this in a 400-degree oven for 40 minutes, taking it out about 20 minutes after cooking to flip and rotate the chicken thighs. And while we let that finish in the oven, we can begin cooking our pasta. Now, we used 1/2 pound of Cavatappi noodles, but feel free to use any noodle you want. You're going to want to strain that and set it aside until your chicken's done cooking. And then right before it comes out of the oven, just take a handful of basil. We used about 75 grams, but honestly, the more basil you use, the better in my opinion. You're just going to want to give that a rough chop and set it aside. So it's been about 40 minutes and our chicken is finished cooking. It looks nice and golden brown. Just remove that top rack and set it aside. And then while we let the chicken cool, you just want to take the pasta, the tomato, the feta, and of course that fresh chopped basil, and give everything a good mix. And then this is when you want to taste the dish, see if it needs a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. We still found it to be a little too acidic, so we went ahead and added 2 teaspoons of sugar. And if you're going to be meal prepping this, something to keep in mind is we actually took the weight of the pan before we cooked it, and that way we can portion directly from it into our meal prep containers. And now that our chicken has been rested and it's cool enough to handle, you're just going to want to cut these into bite-sized strips. And again, since we're meal prepping these, we're just going to get the weight of the cut up chicken thighs before they go in the containers. Now, we got about 70 grams per serving, but it might be a little bit different for you depending on how you cooked your chicken. And then from here, we're just dividing the pasta and the chicken equally into 5 meal prep containers. Now, we love to incorporate fresh herbs as much as we can, so we're going to sprinkle a little bit more basil over the top. Not only does it add more flavor, but it just makes it look so much prettier. And there you have it, a meal prepped chicken feta tomato pasta, coming in at 525 calories and 36 grams of protein, and it really does taste as good as it looks. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more meal prep videos. Let us know if you give this recipe a try, and let us know what you want us to see make next. All right, guys, until next time. Cheers.
This is how you meal prep the feta Tic Tac pasta.